Happy New Year, Floss Tube. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Jenny.
And we're the Shady Tree Stitches, in sync in person. Yay! Happy 2022, everyone.
Yes.
Here's to 2022 being a hell of a lot better than 2021.
There can't be any... No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
We will hope for the best, Jenny. Thanks for joining us. This is a video about cross stitch. We never say that, but we figure the people who watch us know.
Yeah.
And we are two cross stitchers from New South Wales in Australia. We live nearabouts. Jenny lives in Sydney, and I live 2 hours north of Sydney in a general sort of city area called Maitland. And we have been friends since primary school.
We were in brownies together.
Yes, brownies together. And then we re-met in the school band, and then Jenny left, and then we re-met again when we were adults. And it's our love of cross stitch that actually has made our friendship become the good friendship it is now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm delighted to have spent New Year's Eve with Jenny. We had a really fun time. We went out to dinner with the fam, and then we sat on Zoom, on the No New Start Zoom, and cross-stitched with our Aussie friends, and it was really cool.
And some Americans who got up especially early to be with us for midnight in Sydney. Midnight in New South Wales. Sorry.
Kudos to those American people who I didn't ask permission to say who they are, but they know. That's so okay. We're impressed. And we will be there for your midnight too. Yes. We're going to get this video done so we can get on Zoom and stitch the day away. All right. Today is our 2021 last video, even though we're making it in Australian time on the 1st of January. But it's rounding up what we've done for the year, so it's perfect timing to just close this chapter of our stitching.
Yep.
All right. First up, have you got any finishes?
No.
I do. Can I please have the ever trusty euphonium? Nothing fancy today. There you go. Trusty euphonium signaling a big finish for me. Alphabet,
so pretty.
Drawn thread, alphabet sampler. I did A to Z for the semi-saint alphabet. And so since you've seen it, somewhere down there is where I was up to. And I put it all on one piece of fabric. And I did it differently to the pattern. It had them going across, but my brain wanted to go down in columns. So I did the first column, the second column, and the third. And that now is a fantastic, like encyclopedia of stitches.
Yes.
Because every letter has different stitches that start with that letter. And I'm thinking of utilising that in a couple of new design ideas I've got. So watch the paddock lane space. So there you go. That is my big finish. All right, what about whips then, Jen? I know you've got whips.
I do, because December, mid-December marked the end of No New Starts 2021, or at least the No New Starts period.
Yes.
So then we had Starter-palooza.
12 days of Christmas.
12 days of Christmas.
/ 18.
Yeah. So my first one that I worked on was Ho Ho Ho, which I actually started New Year's Eve 2020, but I didn't get 200 stitches in, so it didn't become a whip then, but it is now a whip. So it's up to, so I had previously done up to about here, so that the H and the border are all the way around here, and now I've done that. So although it looks kind of chunky, the border is actually, hang on, there we go, 4 strands of thread, but only half crosses. So yes, so that's now a whip, a very small one. This one's even smaller. So I started Romeo Mouse. I think I might have shown this in one of our 12 Days of Christmas ones,
so
but anyway.
Cute.
So that's a friend's daughter's, she got married in October. So that's where he's up to. He's also, well, he is slightly over 200 stitches. But yes, they're all 200 or more now. So that's that one. Then I started my Koala Biscornu. So I have stitched a little bit of branch and upside down koala bottom.
So turning around this way, you can see actual koala bot sitting on the tree. I like your needle minder, that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I thought, you know, Australian should have some...
Is that one of yours?
Yes.
Okay, this is one of Jenny's thing to mind is she started to make these, and they're very soon hopefully going to be available on the Paddock Lane site if anyone's interested.
Yes, and that's one of mine as well. Oops, I gotta make sure I'm pointing it at the camera.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, tablet.
Oh, yes, yes. So this one, I need the tablet for the cover pack.
I'll get your material ready. It's nice to have an assistant for a change.
Okay, so this is the Caterpillar Cross Stitch Deck the Halls. So
She's got mist.
I've got mist. Well, half a mist.
But mist. You've got mist. Oh yeah,
Oh,
top
yeah,
half.
Top half.
Top half of mist. Oh,
Yes,
that's
yes.
beautiful fabric.
And that's another one of mine. I got some gorgeous, like the brand gorgeous. Okay, and then Cross Stitch Nation, which a bunch of us Shady Trees people are stitching, and we're making it all the people, some of the Shady Trees people.
We are. And we're, just for anyone, we are actually going to be stitching on this every Thursday night. That is the goal. So we're going to start this week. Every Thursday night. This is where Jenny's up to. That is such a pretty dress.
Well, Sue kept changing her mind about what colour she wanted. She said purple, then she said orange, then she said purple, then she said pink. I found this, it's a Silks For You, one of the ones from the Sassy Pouch, and it pretty much covers all the colours. And that's another one of mine.
It's good that you can use your own.
Yes.
Yeah, so if anyone else is stitching Cross Stitch Nation, feel free to join us on a Thursday night. Or if you're an Australian, just feel free to join us on the No New Start Zoom on a Thursday night, about 8 p.m. till 10:30ish. And we will be stitching that.
Yes. And then I started my first Haid.
Her first page, Jenny has started the stitch in time. I'm so proud of her. And she did really, really well. Oh, she did. Of course, yours is the one at the back.
Yeah.
Now, this is a bit of this is haul slash stitchy genius. And also her progress and my progress on the whip.
Yep.
We'd like to shout out Nicole Reed from Nirvana Lee Design Studios, because she did a fabulous video the other day to show just how to make one of these frames. You show yours first because it's your...
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Do it upside down, probably.
What?
Yeah, like that.
Okay. So technically it's going that way, but yes, just so that you can see. So that is exactly 200 stitches. It went to the end of one particular row. So it's my first time of a Haid, first time using Pattern Keeper, first time using CXC.
Yes.
Lots of firsts.
Lots of firsts. And
Not my first time stitching on 20 count Ada, because those who've watched our channel before, I have my very tiny little full coverage Mirabilia. That's also on 20 count.
so to show you what we made these big...
Oh, it all fits.
scroll frames, yes. And Jenny's
Lisa's won't fit because hers is slightly taller.
Yeah, Jenny's is cut to the right size, which was 80 centimeters.
90, yep.
Mine, we left to the meter, just because. And this is the bit I was working on. So again, if I hold it the way it's going, I can't see.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the bit I was working on this bit here. You can actually see people. Can you see the there?
Outline of a person.
Outline of the people.
Yeah, looking at that, it's probably a lady because it looks like a boob.
Yeah, but where's your picture? Show them the picture. It's this bit. It's not, it's a man.
Oh.
Yeah, it's that bit.
Hey, where are we going?
Find your finger, yeah.
I'm going to put my finger first.
Show the people where it is.
There.
Alright.
So the guy standing up.
Right, so there we go.
Yeah, so guy standing up, lady sitting down.
Yeah. And I have done all the black.
Oh, it's because he's got his elbow.
Yeah, probably.
That's what it is.
I've done
He's
all
got
the
his
black.
hand on, and so it's his elbow sticking out.
All the black on going here for the first two shelves. So I've just got to finish the black, that bit, and then obviously the last two shelves. So I didn't reach my earlier goal of stitching all the black stitches by the end of the year. But that's
28,000
yeah.
black stitches. 28 plus.
I'll give you that back. So it's really good though, because that's one of my pieces for the Daily 30s Yearly Challenge, which is an animal, I don't know, not a hunt. I can't remember what it's called, but safari sort of thing. We're going around visiting lots of different animals, and I wanted to be able to leave it out. So our mission after the video is for me to quickly whip up some covers for them so they can just sit in my shitsy pot in their cover, so they'll be dust and cat hair free, and that'll be really good. All right, my whips. Well, I have been working on a lot since Christmas Day.
She has.
Here's a bag I prepared earlier.
Sorry, I was just trying to
That's all right. We're sharing the space today, but it's nice to be back in the craft area.
And together.
Yes.
In person.
Together in person is lovely. All right, these are in no particular order other than how I'm digging them out of the bag.
Oh, no, I can't move that one because that bumped the camera.
So since we saw you at the end of our 12 days of Christmas on Christmas Day, I had to finish starts. I actually ended up with 20 starts, which I've done, one restart, and also finished my zombie run. So these are mixtures of those things. So for the zombie run, I had to work on my fairy tale village.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really, and that's almost top to bottom. So it's really coming on nicely, and I really want to keep working on this. It's not an earmarked piece for anything in particular, but I'd like to keep it handy. So it's going to continue to see love this year, because my friend Sasha is stitching it too, and she's like, she's gonna have it finished by the end of the year, but she's a fairly monogamous stitcher. My other zombie run, thank you Jenny, is my Amazing Animal Kingdom bookshelf, which you can see sideways. Again on its little frame, and I've got 400 stitches done in this green. This is going to also continue to be a focus piece for the year, because I've got so much done on it. So really, really pleased on where it's going. You're not getting before and after photos today, people. Sorry, I did that for you for the whip parade, and Jenny's whip parade is coming soon. All right, I don't have my photos with me. That was the whole point of having the photos. So that's really dumb. I'm going to pause. Thank you, Jenny. So remember, my plan for the year is to show you my beautiful little photos of the cover photos. That way it's easy and I've got them all together. I just have to make a mental note to make sure I have my photos with me every video. So this is Ariel from an Etsy stop, which is no longer around, so I don't know where she is. And 200 stitches at the bottom of her dress. Funny story with this one. I went to start her yesterday and it's like, where is she? I hadn't got her out. I hadn't picked fabric, so this was my random pick from my stash, but I think it ended up being a perfect color for it. So yes, all of these ones now are 200 stitches approximately. I do have a list of exactly how many stitches for those who really care. So Ariel's 205 stitches on a piece of fabric, 28 count evenly. See, look, I can tell you these things today. I'll forget as the year goes on. From Sew-It-All, which is no longer the same company. So,
well, it still exists. It's just been,
it's different.
Change of ownership.
Yeah. So the next one I'm going to show you is the pointed fifth. Let's see if Jenny can find. It's like shuffling a deck of cards. The pointed fifth, which is the long dog, and this one I am stitching on a piece of Paddington's Design dyed fabric, and I started in the middle. That's how big it is. So it's all in like purples, pinks, yellows, and it's using just DMC or CXC 823. But I will be doing some highlights of the animals in some of the purples and pinks and yellows and things.
Cool.
So that's yeah, 825. I should get my assistant to. Thank you, assistant. As I said, I love having an assistant. All right, the next one was the Tiny Tidings. There they are. Thank you, Jenny. The Tiny Tidings from Lizzie Kate. Closer. I have started on the Elf with the Presents, using, because I'm frugal, just a scrap of leftover fabric that I had, opalescent.
Cool.
This was from my the World The Clouds Factory one, the big one with Clouds Factory that I finished last year.
Ah.
I've got the famous women. It's not the famous women, it's the other one. The one without the round
History of time.
Yeah,
no,
that one.
Oh, something.
Yeah.
History of something.
I don't know. But anyway, it's that piece of that because it's plenty big enough.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one is the Craft Village, which is a stamped version of, yep, cute. And I have done the scissors. There's some grey on the scissors. These stamp ones are very hard to show you the progress, so I may not bother too much because you can't really see what you've done, what I've done on them.
It's a bit tricky.
But look, I did do 206 stitches on that to get that one underway. Next one would be the Tiny Tidings.
Hang on,
Yes, that's it. That's what, no, not Tiny Tidings, wrong name. Fragments in Time. Okay.
So I know you've done one of these already, so this is the second one.
But this one's already going to have to be frogged.
Oh.
Can anyone see why?
I'm looking at the back, so I can't tell.
If you look at the front, Jenny, can you see why? That it's not centered. That middle pattern, which I started with, is not centered. So somehow I've uncentered the border.
I did that when I was doing my little I was doing one of the little Mill Hill diamonds as it was the stitchy exchange at the first Medigong Stitches retreat in person. I had to, like a tiny little thing, I had to unpick bits of that 3 times because I had the same thing. I'd started in the middle and then I counted out to the border and screwed up, and I was 1 strand over, so because it was even weave, and that threw everything out. I had to keep undoing it and redoing it, and I don't know how, I must have kept turning the material. I kept doing some of the crosses the wrong, like they weren't all going the same.
Well, anyway, I started with the middle, then that's just on one of the little scraps. Sew it off. Right. The hole fell. All right, Kringles. Kringles I was working on Christmas Day. I can't remember if I showed you my start or not. This is on another piece of hand-dyed fabric.
Ooh, sparkles.
And this is actually what I call my turbulent for the Tarot Witchy Sal. So there we go. I started at the bottom. Because this piece of fabric is quite long, I don't need it all apparently. Apparently I only need the top bit for Kringles. So I thought I'd start in the middle so that I get blue sky up the top and brown. But I really like the sparkly, it's like because we don't do snow much in Australia, so, you know.
At least not at Christmas.
No, but, well, not much in Australia anywhere.
No.
But I definitely like to have a bit of a snowy vibe happening, but with a twist because it's Australian. We're getting there. I have no idea if this is all the pieces. So Fragment Time Kringles, Pointed Fifth, Tiny Tidings, Lucy Radden. Now this is the one from the Cruel Goblins
Schoolgirl sampler
and
box.
This one comes with a beautiful piece of 36 count linen, and it came with the 2 silks, one in baby blue and one in red, because there's a second bit that's a little pin cushion pillow that's done in both, and we got a skein of both. And I'm only using 1 thread, so Nat and I were talking about it. I went, well, why don't I do this as a red work? Because everyone seems to like their red work. So I've actually turned it in, this one into the red work, and when I do the cushion I'll do it the other way around if I need to, or whatever. It'll be fine. So that's exciting. So that one got a whole 202 stitches on it. And then we've got my princesses. Okay, princesses. This is why we have pictures, see? Now, I'm doing these as a book. And that's not the whole princesses, that's just to give you an idea. But I'm actually starting at the top. Yeah, I just did 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Starting at the top with the castle.
So the castle's only half in that picture, but yeah,
just
to give you an idea.
And I'm using just the fabrics that I have. So these are Sassy Pouch fabrics. This one is the 32 count, and if you remember I used the 28 count for my gnomes. So this piece of fabric you've seen before, but there is the start of my castle, and it is 205 stitches to get that door done. with a little bit of a thing. So yeah, I'm going to use these different fabrics that are all from the Sassy Pouch that all are different colours but blend nicely to make the book.
They blend nicely like the colours on the back of it.
Like the colours on the bag, yes. My beautiful bag from Sue's sister. All right. And then, so I think that's all my, yes, that was all my starts. And then I had a restart. Now this one you don't have a, well, there is a photo, but we haven't pre-prepared the photo. So this one is Cozy Cove. Okay, from Dimensions, Charles Wasocki. And the thing is, it was in here, here it is. I had previously, too much stuff on our desk today. I had previously stitched this much on the called for piece of fabric, which is a 16 count Aida. It's not a particularly crunchy Aida, it's quite a nice Aida, but I was not choosing to stitch on it. And it's got one of those patterns that's, you know, like...
Ah, it's Dimensions.
Yeah. So you're already dealing with a hard pattern.
Yes.
And so I thought about it and I went, why am I not stitching on this? And I thought it might be the fabric because I really, really do prefer an even weave. So, as I use my little board, I have restarted on this piece, a beautiful frozen fabric, 32 count from the Sassy Pouch. So I'm putting all my Sassy Pouch fabrics to use now. It's going to be way too big because if you see the yes, put that on, but I'll have a bit left over, more than that at the bottom, but I'll be able to do something with that little bit down the track. So I'm excited and I think that's going to look nice. It looks like a nice bright sunshiny day colour.
Yeah.
So that, people, is my whips done for the year. Now again, I do not say this to be mean to Jenny at all. It is just purely, I don't. She doesn't get offended. We're different people. We are. Thank you. Let's put it back in its bag. Okay, I'll hold my lap so I can stop crunching. I've done my stats for the month and the year. Just
I didn't say anything.
okay. I had 45 finishes, of which 15 were model stitches, so I had 30 whip finishes.
For example.
Yep, they're model stitches, and I don't know if any of those are whips finishes. Well, there's small models up there.
Yeah.
These are just ones that are fully finished, but I don't think I stitched, oh, that one, maybe, and that one. Oh, that's a model. But anyway, stuff there. This up here, just in case you're interested, they're the donations. Thank you for the 2022 No New Starts prizes. Okay, keep them safe. I did my figures for December. December was my worst month of the year. And I think that was partially because we're starting all the things, 200 stitches. It takes a lot longer to start. You got to find the threads, you sometimes got to cut the threads, you've got to make sure you measure. Choose the material, measure, count twice, blah, blah, blah.
Oh yeah.
So.
Sometimes make frames for them as well.
Yeah. Plus it was the end of the year, it was Christmas, it was, oh yeah, we haven't spoken about that one.
Yeah.
I can come up in plans. Yeah, so basically I did about 2,800 stitches a week, which is pretty much not my lowest weeks ever, but my lowest general average of 11,790 for the month. So that was pretty down. My next lowest, surprisingly, was May. And again, same thing. See, that was Mania. I wasn't starting all the things, but I was working on all the Mania whips. So I stitch a lot faster when I'm not chopping and changing all the time. So for the year, I have a grand total of 227,746 stitches, which I am super proud of. I don't remember my count from last year, but now I've got a starting point for this year. And to add to that, this year I did my little colouring page, courtesy of Tia at Calm Creations, who told me about this one. And that is my stitch count in hundreds for the whole year. So you can see it's quite a nice rainbow colour assortment. Between 400 and 600 a day seems to be the usual for me. So this year going forward, I'm going to be doing that bookshelf. which will be able to show people. I know I saw it in here.
Yes.
Somewhere. So do you remember this one? And what I'm doing is for each book, it'll be my stitch count for the day. So I can't start that today because I obviously need to stitch today, so I know how many stitches to count.
Yes.
And the hard thing with that is that most of the groups don't start till later, till America hits the 1st of January. But we'll get to that in plans. What about you, Jen? How'd you go?
So December was, it wasn't my, it was in the middle. I only did 1,209, which meant my yearly total was 12,830, which is less than Lisa does in a month. But
yeah, but we're different people, and that's
but it is more than I did last year.
Yeah.
Last year was 12,145 and a half.
Now, just to show you, this is Jenny's accounting mind. She's one of these spreadsheet people, which got it all beautifully laid out, and she's able to track her data. It's really cool. I do like data.
I do write it down each day. This is just the monthly count, because I don't have as many whips. So that all with my new starts, that takes me to having 24 whips going into new starts 22. But yes, so I do challenges and daily things. I just write it down. I don't have it in a diary. I just have a page per whip. And put all the stuff in that, but then at the end of each month put it into my spreadsheet.
That's cool. See, different ways of doing things, people. There's no right or wrong way. I heard a really funny thing last night that I want to share. Someone in No New Starts was sort of saying, oh, I can't count my stitches because I don't have one of those fancy counting machines. So as you know, I use my phone and I press it when I've done an app. Other people use Pattern Keeper and it keeps track for them. I don't have one here actually, but you know, a piece of paper and a pen to write down the numbers, that's really all you need, and everyone has one of them, so you don't need a fancy schmancy thing. You can just go back to basics, and that's why I still use a paper diary. I like the Daisy's and Jenny writing down her daily totals. She's just writing the date and what she stitched on and how much she did. It's not fancy schmancy. It doesn't have to be.
Nope.
You can do whatever you want.
Nope.
What helps, what keeps you motivated, you know, and that's what it's about. You know?
Yeah, so for each whip, I've written the challenges that I'm going to try and do for each month, and down the bottom I've got how many stitches I did on that whip. Yep. And yeah, if you've got a paper pattern and as you're highlighting, you can count how many squares you've highlighted and then write that down. Like I do that. I mean, I do have a counting app, but sometimes if my phone's charging, I can't use the counting app, so I need to just write it down. And
it's just simple maths, because you can either do it as a tally, or if you can't be bothered to do that, it's like 23. And then I always just put a slash, and then I go 42 slash 10.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the night, I go, right, 23 plus 42 plus 10.
I have a little tiny notepad that sits in my stitchy spot, and I've always got pens because I'm writing, you know, colouring in or whatever, and I just write it down on that.
I have pens, but just not on this side of the table.
No, they're over there.
No, so. Okay, so, any haul?
Only my new frame.
Your new frame, that's pretty good. I had a little bit of haul.
What, do you want to show your other? Or is that going to be plans?
No, we'll do that in plans. Okay. We've shown our plans. So my haul, I got a book of more Barbara Bart's Angels. And in particular, so...
Oh, it's got lots.
It's got 6. I liked the American Indian one on the front.
Is that the one that I saw in
I think you flagged
cross
me
stitch
yes.
stash unload, and
yes.
I put a message, Lisa, have you got this one? Because I know she collects them.
So Lisa now has them. Yes, Lisa needs to finish off South American so she can roll over one of the many others she has. But you know, it'll happen. So thank you, Jenny, for telling me about this lovely book, and thank you to the lovely person who sent it to me. I don't remember how much it was, a couple of dollars. It's great. I also got Silks for You, and I realized I was a bit slack. And I think this Silks for You came in and I didn't show you. This is the, I could be wrong. I might have shown you. But I might, that one. No, that's October. There is one I think I haven't shown you, but I definitely haven't shown you this one.
No, because she only pulled it out of the envelope this morning, like just before we sat down.
I was just saying to Jenny, I love the Silks for You, and I'm trying to cut back on spending money. I said, oh, maybe I should just get the regular one and not the colour of the month. And then the December colour of the month came in. How can I not keep getting that? Look at those gradations. They're just
Hang on,
absolutely
there's
gorgeous.
one hiding. There's one duck. There's 5.
Sorry, I'll be good. Is that better?
Yeah.
There you go. How can I not want to get those?
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
And when they already give it to you in colour bundles
just,
like that.
Yeah, stunning. So they're not particularly variegated, these ones, but these are just beautiful gradations that you could do some lovely
green,
gum leaf greens and good sampler greens.
So yes, sort of slightly greyish green. They're pretty.
Yes, so those are my haul. I also have a new stand that you guys are sitting on. I'm going to show you because it was not expensive and it came just through one of those silly Facebook ads. But you know, if you're wanting to do videos, I'm thoroughly recommending the good old selfie stick. But it has a stand option at the bottom.
A little tripod.
Yeah, and I'm loving it. So hopefully you're liking it better. I feel like it gets a good angle. And also...
And probably a little bit more stable than sometimes when we've been at the retreat and we've had the phone hanging over the back of a chair.
The phone hanging over the back of the chair and different things. So now I can just bring my selfie kit stick with me. Also for Paddock Lane Designs, because I'm doing the floss drops now, and I wanted to start doing more of the, I'm not really sure the name difference, but the floss tags, like the fancy bit on the ring that goes with your floss drops.
Floss drop bling.
I don't know. So there's some floss drop blings. So I've got a whole bunch of them coming. So once I get it my butt into gear, the website of paddocklanedesigns.com should have a lot more things. So that's my little cheap plug of my business for the day. But it's yeah, it's going to be good. There's lots of things on there, and you know, for people who use my Etsy store, Etsy charges such ridiculous fees that I'm tending to not put new fabric and stuff on there. I'm putting on the website. So if you are one of my customers, go to paddocklinedesigns.com instead of my Etsy store. Anything on Etsy is on the website, but everything on the website is not on Etsy. Okay. So that is my haul. Plans. Your plans first. Sorry.
Oh, yes. The haul that we've talked about before, but I have now delivered the giant roll of 14 count Ada.
You guys are loving 14 count Ada. Check out how much 14 count Ada I've got to dye. Thank you, Jenny.
Smidge off 20 metres. From our favourite charity stitching shop, Achieve Sewing Basket.
It's brand new. Never been used.
Yep.
They just, you know,
the ladies in the shop were not best pleased with me when I said, yes, she wants the whole roll. So then they had to measure the whole roll.
And then I didn't want the cream.
Yeah, there was 2 rolls. I messaged Lisa and said there's 2 rolls. There's 1 roll of cream and 1 roll of white. And she's going, how much? And I went, oh, I don't know exactly how much. Lots.
I thought she meant 5 metre rolls. So like
I should have been a bit more explicit about.
Yeah, well, you could have sent me a photo and then I would have known. Oh, she means that big roll.
So they'd measured out the cream and then they're going, are you sure she wants all of both? And I went, I'll ring just to be sure. And I rang and said, there's 25 metres of the cream and probably about 20 of the white. And she's going, maybe I'll just get the white. And they'd already unrolled and measured the cream.
Sorry, guys.
But hey, we you know, they got a good deal. Lisa bought
the roll.
A large amount of
I gave them a substantial investment to their business.
Yes.
Anyway, but it's good. So anyway, if you want 14 count in any colour, let me know. I have plenty.
Coming soon.
Coming soon to the website. Not that soon. I've got to diet.
Yeah.
All right. So what are your plans, Jenny? Sorry.
I need to read through. So we've joined a new Facebook challenge group because, you know, one can never have too many. Down Under Divas, it's 2 of the ladies that started Sassy Devils. And so I need to, I think I've pretty much worked out my plans for that one, for their first monthly challenge. I need to wait and see what's coming for
Daily
No New Starts.
And No New Starts, yes.
Although I can work on No New Starts, the Chinese Zodiac, because that started in December and is continuing. And I need to have a look at Semi-Sane because I haven't had a look to see what their new stuff is for.
Apparently there's a yearly coming out for Semi-Sane that hasn't been released yet. A bit like they were stitching around the parks or something last year. Yes, there's a snowball fight happening, but I got to remember to sign up for that. But the no new starts, don't need to worry about what's happening for no new starts, because in the travel game you stitch on whatever you want.
Yeah, but I kind of need to wait to, see what if it will overlap and if I need a password and things like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because that was the thing with all the new starts. I kept starting and then going, damn it, I didn't take a photo with the password.
I know, we don't like passwords. So sometimes you need them.
Yeah, I think it was because I'm starting something new, and so I was thinking I don't need to take a start photo. Yes, you do.
You do, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And your plans for the year, Jenny? What's your general stitching goals, plans, aspirations?
Well, if I want to stay in no new starts, I have to up my game, because I only had 2 months last year that were the minimum level that no new starts wants for this year, because some of my months have only been about 500 stitches, just because work and everything else has just been too much. But no new starts is saying you have to have 1,500 a month on average.
Look, it's basically half an hour a day.
But that's if you're doing it by time, not by stitching.
Right, some 50 stitches a day.
Because, for example, my stitching time, because it's on 20 count, fairly crunchy Ada, I can't go in and out. I have to do one up, one down, one up, one down. The ho, it's on 14 count Ada, but when you're using 4 strands of floss, you can't go in and out. You have to go up and down separately. So all of that sort of makes it a little bit slower.
Fair enough. But yeah, it's gauged on you doing about half an hour stitching a day, averaged out, because obviously some days you don't stitch and other days you do a couple of hours. So yeah, we didn't have a specification last year, but we had one person who did 26 stitches in 3 months and seemed to think that that was adequate to still be in the challenge, and we didn't think that that was fair, so we had to put a parameter on it this year so that it was clear from the beginning that you can only be part of the challenge to win the prizes if you're actually stitching. It's not fair to win prizes if you're not starting anything because you're not stitching. All right. So anyway, that's it. Oh, that's good. My plans are continue as usual. My plans, I've got in my little form I've made up, I have got my whips for the month, and I'm trying to continue this focus stitching idea for a month, and then it will swap through for the next month. So the 6 whip go pieces, which was number 2 and 19 was called. So I've got those 6 pieces in my monthly rotation. I've got my 3 animal pieces, which is a stitch in time, the ABC houses from Little House Needleworks, because they don't really fit into prompts, and my jingling ladies, which I was saying to Jenny, I've always thought of it as jingling as in like a city in China or something, but then I'm thinking maybe they're just wearing lots of jewelry and they're jingling.
Like one word altogether.
Yes. Yeah, well, yes. It is one word, but I always took it as a place name sort of thing. I guess it could be either way. So they're my 3. I've got my temperature bookshelf / stitch count bookshelf, and obviously my cross stitch nation for the weekly sale.
Yes.
So they are my ones I'm going to be working on. I then decided to do 1 full coverage a month as an extra focus piece. I'm going to try to rotate which one of my full coverages is not pulled and do that. So this month I'm going to keep doing my Animal Kingdom.
Yep.
And I have room for 1 other piece. Oh, 2 other pieces. So based on the prompts for the Down Under Divas, Anzac, which I want to get finished anyway, so that's a good one to have out. So Anzac's on the list for this month, and then I had 1 more spot. And I didn't know what my 1 spot was going to be. I was thinking, well, it could end up being a Big Red Shipper Wife as just a standard one, but unfortunately, there is a prompt. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
There is a prompt in this week's Daily 30 that came out last night. And even though it's a weekly prompt rather than a yearly prompt, I mean a monthly, it's going to, I think, make my mind up for the last one. Work on your biggest whip. That is now the Disney World map. Here's the frame that I made for my Disney World map.
1.5 meters.
1.5 meters wide.
Oops.
Because that is how wide that edge is on my fabric.
The short edge.
The short edge. I had to do this on 14 count because the only fabric that I could get wide enough to do it, which was over 140 centimeters, was either 25 count, which I can't see, or
to do 1/1.
To do 1/1, or 14 count. So I went with the 14 count, and I think you guys saw earlier the bedspread that it's going to be. But what a cool picture that hopefully by the time I die might be done for my grandchildren / great grandchildren /
Yes.
who knows.
Yeah.
But hey, Carla made me do it. Craft Addict K. We're both going to be doing it. She's cursing as well now that she's tried to put it up. I don't think she realized just how big it was when she said we were going to do this one. So it's Carla's fault. I might have found the picture, but I just like the picture. I was going to do a different one.
Well, it makes me think one of not necessarily a regular focus piece, but one that I will be focusing on a little bit more this year will be the one that I'm doing for my nephew, the Peaceable Kingdom, Teresa Wensler, because he's just turned 18, and I checked in with him and said, you know, for most, you know, teenage boys, cross-stitching's not really a thing. Do you still want it? Like, I won't be offended if you don't want it. If you do still want it, great, but if you don't, I am not offended, because the one that I'd done for his older brother, I did as a baby sampler, and so he got it when he was 15 months old. The one that I did for my niece, she's 15, I finished it, I think 3 years ago.
Yep.
She likes it, but it doesn't go with her room, so it's rolled up. She's got it. It's rolled up in a like properly stored thing, and when she decides she wants it on her wall, then I will pay for framing. So I checked in with my nephew, and he's going, no, he still wants it. Maybe by his 21st. So I've got 3 years.
So yes, she needs to make it a bit of a focus piece.
Yes, because it hasn't got done much yet.
Might be a good 30 minutes a day piece, Jen.
No, I think because it's a Teresa Wensler, so it is very confetti heavy. I think I want to like if I'm going to be sitting down to do it, it needs to be more than 30 minutes in one stint. So maybe I'll just have like one day a month or every 2 weeks or something where I do a couple of hours on it. Or, I don't know. I'll have to sort of have a look at my scouting calendar for weekends and stuff and work that out.
See what's happening.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, that's our plans, guys. So that's us done for the end of 2021 / the beginning of 2022. Our plan is to come at you the same sort of format that we did last year. That worked well for us. So hopefully the first weekend of each month will be Jenny and I together, most likely on Zoom. And then the rest of the month you get to listen to me with smatterings of No New Start homework videos and other No New Starts news thrown in.
Yep.
So feel free, definitely hit subscribe, hit the little notification bell, and then you'll know when there's new videos so that you don't miss them. Particularly if you know New Starts, might be good to do that because then you'll know what's happening. But if you want to catch Jenny, you know, because you love Jenny the most, that's fine. She's here the first weekend of each month. And me the rest, hopefully every other week, give or take, life getting a bit crazy.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us. We really hope you have a great year of stitching.
Yes.
And we look forward to catching up with you later. Bye.
Bye.